Welcome to Laws and DepEd Orders and Memoranda Explained. In this episode, we focus on DepEd Order Number 55, Series of 2013, the implementing rules and regulations of the Republic Act 10627 or Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. This landmark policy ensures that all public and private schools adopt clear anti-bullying measures, strengthen prevention and intervention programs, and safeguard the rights and well-being of every learner. Let's dig deeper into its core provisions and what they mean for effective school leadership and child protection. Bullying comes in many forms, and school leaders must be able to recognize them all. The law defines bullying as repeated physical, verbal, electronic, or social aggression. Remember the code PVES. Physical bullying includes punching, shoving, kicking, and teasing, even the use of objects as weapons, that's PSKT. Psychological bullying involves actions that damage a student's emotional well-being, calling for strong counseling and protection programs, CYBL. Finally, verbal bullying covers slander, name-calling, and insults on appearance or clothing. Leaders must promote respectful communication, guided by SNI. Together, these categories remind us, bullying is not just physical. It can harm a child in many ways, and school heads must respond accordingly. Bullying also extends beyond the classroom walls. Cyberbullying, or harassment through text, social media, and online platforms, must be addressed in every school policy. Think CTEC. Schools must also recognize other forms of bullying unique to their context. This flexible, allows policies to adapt to local realities. We also have social bullying, where groups are belittled or excluded. Leaders should strengthen inclusivity and peer relations, SOBL. Finally, gender-based bullying targets learners based on gender or SOGI. School heads must actively promote gender sensitivity and inclusion, guided by GBB. These categories remind us that effective leadership means protecting every learner, in every space, from every form of bullying. DepEd Order 55 requires schools to adopt, update, and enforce anti-bullying policies every year, captured in the code PIM, Policy, Intervention, Mechanism. Bullying is prohibited in all spaces, school grounds, adjacent areas, activities, bus stops, and school buses. School leaders must monitor every area, guided by SAPB. Technology use is also covered. Any bullying through school-owned or leased devices must be prevented, TECS. Even non-school activities using school resources fall under school accountability, NSAB. And finally, retaliation is strictly prohibited. School heads must protect whistleblowers and promote safe reporting, NORET. Together, these provisions remind us, leadership means ensuring protection everywhere, inside school, online, and beyond. Schools are required to adopt comprehensive prevention programs for bullying, captured in CAP, Comprehensive, Applicable, Preventive. A strong school-wide climate promotes positive relationships and respect for differences, PCR. Leaders must also conduct regular monitoring of behaviors and attitudes using surveys and reports, MAP. Monitor, assess, prevent. Policies should be reviewed and updated in school manuals to keep them relevant, PRC. And finally, awareness activities like orientations and campaigns must help learners recognize and respond to bullying, AR. Together, these steps build a proactive culture of safety and respect in schools. Prevention also means preparing people and systems. First, schools must provide professional development for teachers on anti-bullying through LAC or inset sessions, PD-BULL. Second, stakeholder coordination is vital. Principals should work with LGUs and barangay councils to strengthen child protection, LGUC. Inside classrooms, teachers must reinforce school-wide rules, guided by principals, CRR, classroom rule reinforcement. Equally important is social-emotional learning, or SEL, helping learners build empathy, self-awareness, and sound decision-making. And finally, bullying issues must be openly discussed in class, with clear reporting strategies, DIR. Discuss, inform, report. Together, these actions embed anti-bullying practices in both staff development and classroom culture. Prevention also extends to digital spaces and relationships. Learners must be taught online safety and how to report cyberbullying. This is positive online safety. Inside classrooms, teachers should build inclusive and supportive environments. CIC, caring and inclusive class, with school heads ensuring consistent practice. Parents also play a key role. Through PDA sessions, they must be involved in anti-bullying education, PIE, parents involved in education. Lastly, school leaders must closely monitor at-risk students, whether potential victims or bullies, by establishing confidential systems of support, VMS, vulnerable monitoring system. These measures remind us that anti-bullying is a shared responsibility among schools, families, and the wider community. Beyond prevention, schools must provide intervention programs that deal with the causes, risks, and effects of bullying CRE. The focus should be on addressing root issues, identifying risk factors, and managing effects through evidence-based strategies like counseling, SEL, and peer support, AFE. Interventions may take different forms: counseling, life skills training, and psychosocial support, CLS. And all programs must follow key principles: address bullying acts, emphasize correction, align with child protection, help both victims and bullies, and promote prosocial behavior. Remember the code ACTHP. In short, interventions must not just punish, but heal, correct, and restore. Implementation of the Anti-Bullying Act happens at every level of DepEd. At the central office, the role is to lead the campaign, consolidate reports, train, and submit updates to Congress camp. The regional offices review policies, enforce compliance, and support divisions, ensuring accountability. Recap. At the division level, offices provide training, monitor schools, handle appeals, and sanction violations, train care. Finally, at the school level, principals carry the most direct responsibility: adopting policies, educating stakeholders, ensuring reporting systems, protecting learners, and coordinating with agencies, Pearl. Together, these roles create a chain of accountability, with school heads at the heart of daily enforcement and child protection. Everyone in the school community has a role in fighting bullying. Teachers and school personnel must participate in prevention, report incidents, and comply with the rules, PRC. Participate, report, comply. Students are also accountable. They must avoid bullying, support victims when safe, and report cases, PAIR. Participate, avoid, intervene, report. The Child Protection Committee, chaired by the school head and joined by teachers, parents, students, and community partners, leads implementation, SPTSC. Its duties are to raise awareness, enforce policies, monitor cases, and coordinate referrals, AIMR. With these roles aligned, school heads ensure that child protection is a shared responsibility. Bullying cases fall strictly under the authority of DepEd and private schools, never barangay mediation. That's DepEd only. When an incident happens, staff must act immediately. Stop the act, separate the students, remove if necessary, ensure safety, and send to guidance. Remember SSRES. Every case must be reported to designated staff, with parents informed and an intake sheet completed. RIP. Report, inform, paperwork. For special cases, schools must coordinate when incidents involve multiple campuses. Anonymous reports may be accepted, but no action can rely on them alone. CAP. Coordinate, accept, protect. These steps ensure bullying is addressed quickly, fairly, and within the school's authority. Once a case is reported, leaders must act fast. Fact-finding means interviewing the bully and victim separately, assessing threats, acting within 24 hours, informing parents, and endorsing to the CPC, IATI. Interview, assess, take action, inform. Next is intervention. The CPC designs support for the victim, the bully, and even bystanders, while the school head ensures it is carried out CPC Act. Finally, some cases require referral to social workers, guidance counselors, psychologists, or even the police for criminal acts. This is our 2P, refer to professionals or police. These steps remind school heads to investigate, intervene, and refer, ensuring both accountability and learner protection. Discipline in bullying cases must always be fair and balanced. Sanctions should match the gravity of the offense, from reprimand to suspension or expulsion, and always include an intervention program. That's PSI: penalty, sanction, intervention. Due process is non-negotiable. Students and parents must be informed, given the chance to respond, decisions in writing, with the right to appeal, IRWA. For serious cases involving injury or death, schools must apply the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, or JJWA. At the same time, false accusations are not tolerated, students making them face disciplinary action, known as FAB. And finally, strict confidentiality must be observed for all parties. Protect identities at all times, keep silent. These measures ensure justice, accountability, and protection for every learner. We've now unpacked the key provisions of DepEd Order No. 55, Series of 2013, the implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act 10627, or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. From definitions and prohibited acts to prevention, intervention, and due process, we've seen how this policy safeguards learners and guides school leadership. Let's now put this into practice. Here is your practice test under PPSSH Strand 1.6, Learner Voice, anchored on DepEd Order No. 55, Series of 2013. Test your understanding and see how these policies translate into effective school leadership decisions. 1. As stipulated in DepEd Order No. 55, Series of 2013, which of the following is considered bullying under RA 10627? A teacher assigning additional seat work to a learner who was late. B. A student repeatedly sending offensive messages to a classmate on social media. C. A parent complaining about grading practices to the school head. Or D. A barangay official calling out students for littering outside school premises. 2. Which of the following are mandatory components of a school's anti-bullying policy as required under DepEd Order No. 55, Series of 2013? 1. Statement of prohibited acts. 2. Clear procedures for reporting incidents. 3. Mechanisms for interventions and referrals. 4. Allocation of barangay funds for counseling services. 1, 2, and 3 only. B. 1, 2, and 4 only. C. 2, 3, and 4 only. Or D. 1, 3, and 4 only. 3. A grade 7 student reported being verbally bullied but requested anonymity out of fear of retaliation. How should the principal act in line with DepEd Order No. 55, Series of 2013 and Child Protection Standards? Require the student to testify in writing so the case can proceed formally. B. Assure confidentiality, record the incident, and initiate CPC investigation with protection measures. C. Settle the matter privately between the bully and victim to avoid documentation. Or D. Wait until multiple reports are filed before initiating action to avoid false accusations. 4. Following a typhoon, your school shifted to blended learning. Reports emerge of bullying in online group chats during asynchronous tasks. What is the most strategic leadership move? Remind teachers to grade group outputs strictly to discourage off-task behavior. B. Expand the anti-bullying policy to explicitly cover online learning platforms and conduct parent-student orientation on cyber safety. C. Forward the cases to DepEd Regional Office since they involve off-site learning activities. Or D. Ignore the reports as online chats outside school hours are beyond school jurisdiction. List of correct answers. Compare this with your own answers. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content on school leadership, DepEd policies, and NASH preparation. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We're here to guide you on your journey toward becoming an empowered and impactful school leader. Let's grow together in leadership, service, and excellence.